Hey, happy, beautiful, amazing day. Dr. Bob Rakowski here out of Houston, Texas, with a mini course on gut health and stomach acid and acid reflux. Little background on me. I've been in clinical practice for 30 years now. I've treated both ends of the spectrum, the ultra elite and those people who medicine gave up on, and really everything in between. And I'm happy to say that I've had successes in every demographic. I've also taught over 10,000 hours of seminars all over the world to doctors, something I love to do. Whenever I talk with patients, I let them know that generally patients want to know, number one, what's causing the problem. Secondly, they want to know if I can help. Third, how long does it take to make a difference? And then the fourth question people have is, how much does everything cost? So this will be a part of a course that I've taught for years entitled, Do You Have the Guts to Be Healthy? A little play on words, but you'd be surprised. A lot of people don't have the guts to be healthy. And for a lot of problems, that's a really good starting point. So we like to ask some basic questions. First and foremost, what are you eating? How much and how often? Simple rule, if God made it, it's okay. If man made it, stay away. You want to eat smaller quantities every time, and you want to eat less often because calorie restriction is the number one mechanism of longevity ever studied. Next, how's your digestion? You want to be relaxed. You want to chew your food. You want to have good stomach acid, good gallbladder function, good pancreas function. And those are all good starts. Next, what kind of bugs live in your gut? We now know that there are more bugs in our gut than there are cells in our body, more bugs in our gut than our stars in the known universe. How often do you poop? A lot of people don't like to talk about that, but it's an important fact of life. You've got to eliminate every day, preferably multiple times a day. And finally, do you have a leaky gut? So let's talk a little bit about stomach acid here. So what does it do? Well, it sterilizes food. If you're going to swallow an infectious organism, you're likely to have something on your food. Imagine picking off a piece of fruit and it's got some type of insects on it. Well, the stomach acid should kill it. You're going to digest protein. You're going to activate pepsin, which is another part of protein digestion. It activates something called intrinsic factor to absorb B12, an absolutely essential vitamin. Stimulates bile and enzymes that would be from the gallbladder, from the pancreas, from the small intestine. And the next one's very, very important. It closes the esophageal sphincter. So stomach acid prevents acid reflux and it opens the sphincter that allows food passage into the rest of the digestive tract. Now, this was a 2020 study, and they found that 44% of people reported having acid reflux at some point in their life, and almost 31% had symptoms in the past week. So that makes acid blocking drugs among the most popular drugs that are out there. And you know what? If people are going to take an acid blocker on occasion for maybe a bad gut day, well, that wouldn't be so bad. But once people start taking these, they often take them for weeks, months, years, and beyond. And there's some serious problems associated with them. So they can threaten health. One of the first things we know is that they're associated with osteoporosis. You need stomach acid to absorb minerals, so it's not just calcium you're not going to absorb. And by the way, calcium bone has at least 12 different minerals. So, you're going to want to have that stomach acid to absorb the minerals. We also know that proton pump inhibitors, that's one category of acid blocker, is associated with dementia, including Alzheimer's dementia. And there's a significant increased risk of gastric cancer. So you can always look in these PubMed IDs and see that people are having serious problems as a result of these drugs. Hydrochloric acid is very, very concentrated. In fact, it's estimated to be about 3 million times as concentrated as the acid in arterial blood, which, by the way, is just slightly alkaline. And so it takes a ton of energy to make hydrochloric acid. And this statement here from Guyton's textbook of medical physiology says, you know what? It probably takes 1,500 calories to make a liter of gastric juice. And there's organelles within these cells called mitochondria that make 94.4% of human energy. One thing I've taught people for years is all toxins inhibit mitochondrial function. So when you're poisoned, your energy becomes less efficient. And since it takes more energy to make hydrochloric acid than any other chemical in the body, this is likely the very first chemical that will drop. So once you drop that hydrochloric acid, all the benefits from hydrochloric acid start to go away. So I always recommend a detox. It's detox is nutrient dependent, it's energy dependent. And I tend to recommend that people do 7 to 10 days of a functional food, medical food designed to help the body eliminate toxins, and only organic vegetables. Why organic vegetables? They actually help the detox. They've got fiber, they've got nutrients, they've got water. They shouldn't have too many toxins in them whatsoever. And all of that will help the process. Sometimes people have a little bit of what's known as a hiatal hernia. That means their stomach is bulging up through a hole in the diaphragm. And you know what? If the stomach bulges up through a hole, why don't we just push it back down? And skilled practitioners can do that fairly gently. And I've done it on many hundreds of patients. Again, when we talk about the 7 major functions of stomach acid, they actually prevent acid reflux. Yes, if you have enough acid in your stomach, you prevent acid reflux. Well, what if you don't have enough? That means you promote acid reflux. So this was the journal Gut, 1969, and it said the lower esophageal sphincter, that's what prevents acid from going up into the esophagus, responds to acid in a way which it increases sphincter pressure. So we've known this for over 50 years. The journal Surgery in 1989 said, you know what, if we actually add acid to the stomach, we actually increase sphincter pressure and we prevent acid reflux. So we've got plenty of time and experience and great data that says we need stomach acid to prevent acid reflux. So acid blockers likely promote acid reflux. I'm a big fan of hydrochloric acid when people need it. I recommend that they start out with a low dose, take one if they feel a little warming in their stomach after a meal, that is. They probably don't need hydrochloric acid, but if they don't feel warming, increase it by a tablet each day with a maximum of 6 tablets. And then as your body improves, let's say you originally don't feel any warming at all at 6 tablets, well, you do that for a while. Suddenly you do start to feel a warming. Well, your body's telling you that you need less and less and less supplemental hydrochloric acid. By the way, if you ever have too much hydrochloric acid or you feel like you have reflux, drink a big glass of water, maybe get some baking soda. Even Alka-Seltzer could be good. I'm a big fan of mono meals, one food for meal when people have digestive challenges. It's easier to digest one food type at a time. Another fact is when people have acid reflux, nearly 80% of them don't do well with coffee. Think about it. Coffee has more than 30 different acids in it. So I'm a huge fan of reishi infused coffee. And full disclosure, I've invested in a company that has an alkaline coffee that's reishi infused, where you get so much gut benefit as well as overall health benefit in the body. I'm Dr. Bob Rakowski, absolutely knowing that we can all be happy, healthy, and successful. And if I can help you in any way, please let me know.